Hello and welcome to my review of the Max Keyboard Nighthawk X8. A few words before I start. This review is not meant to survey all the various features. You probably already know these, and if not, educate yourselves. The point here is to take notice of all the things that you can't really see on regular reviews, and all the small, maybe nitpicky things that I've noticed while using this keyboard. I've had it for a little over a month, so I've learned a few things. So I'll start. Okay, the main reason people buy mechanical keyboards is the feel. It's a bit subjective, but this one feels really nice. I haven't had any experience with other mechanical keyboards, so I can't really tell you how much this one is different from the others. However, this one is, well, it's really nice. The keys themselves feel almost silky. They have a sort of a rubbery, it's not rubbery, finish on them, and they almost feel silky, velvety. It's really nice on the fingers. Now, this keyboard uses the MX Cherry MX Brown switches. Now, I've chosen these just based on the reviews. They have a small tactile feel and they don't do much otherwise. It feels almost like there's a bit of dirt inside, and then you press and then it's gone. They're very springy, they don't require much pressure, and they're very nice. Well, you obviously already know the differences between the various keys, but when I first used these keys, it felt almost the same as a membrane keyboard, and I really didn't feel the difference. But after using it for a while, it struck me. This is very different. It just feels so tactile, it feels right, it feels precise. It's very reassuring to use a keyboard like this, and when I get to work or studies or whatever and I use regular keyboards, it just bums me out. This feels wonderful. Now, I've taken one key out just to show you what they look like. Here it is. It's actually translucent, it's white. Some light breaks through. And the covering itself, sorry, bit of a short focus problem here. There's a finish on the plastic itself. It's, as I said, it's like rubber finish, but it's not, doesn't feel rubbery. It's like paint, but it feels kind of silky. And the printing itself, it's laser etching or whatever it's called, engraving. It's on the painting. It's on the paint itself. And I've tried to scratch, not this one specifically, but the other ones. It's pretty solid. It's not gonna wear off, and in the case that it does, I imagine Max Keyboard, whose customer service is splendid. They're great, honestly. It's the best thing about this keyboard. They might replace it free of charge, maybe, or just, you know, sell it for you. Usually keys don't wear out that much, and if they do, like the WASD keys, you can just buy them for a few bucks and be done with it. I'll try to give you a look on the key itself. That's what it looks like. As you can see, some dust does collect beneath the keys. You can just, I don't know, vacuum clean it. I've tried using it. And here you can also see the rubber finish on the keyboard itself does collect a lot of dust. Sorry for the focusing again. It collects dust. It's a rubber finish, and it collects oil from your fingers and dust, and it doesn't look as nice. Of course you can clean it and it looks brand new after you do, but it still does that, so it won't look as good all of the time. Now, carrying on to the feel of the keyboard itself. When I bought this keyboard, I suspected to find something that is built like a tank. This is not built like a tank. It's solid enough. And, well, unless you're a retard, you don't rage on a $150 keyboard. So, it doesn't have to be built like a tank. But it's not the most heavily built thing. As you can see, I'll try and demonstrate. It does flex a bit. Some of the keys, this one specifically, even wobble. I imagine it goes from keyboard to keyboard, but this one does wobble a bit. The spacebar doesn't, almost, and this one doesn't either. But some keys do, and your keyboard might have it. It doesn't really affect how I use this key. I mean, this registers, but still it feels kind of flimsy. So don't expect something that is massive. But it's still built pretty solid and should outlast you in all things considered. I've pried one of the keys so you could see the stabilizers. They're called Co-Star stabilizers. There are Cherry MX stabilizers, which they look just like little black switches. They offer more resistance, and some people don't like them as a result. These ones don't offer resistance, but they do cause some wobbling. It's something you have to live with, I mean. Okay. I haven't shown you this before. You may have seen it when I displayed the other key. I put rubber rings, O-rings on them. These are 40A, meaning they're quite soft, and the main reason for putting them is to, well, when you bottom out, it causes noise. It's just plastic hitting plastic. It's nothing serious, but it does, well, it makes noise. So I put these on. It takes about an hour and a half. You can pay Max Keyboard about $20 or $15 to do it for all 105 keys, and that might be worth it for you. I didn't think of it when I bought this keyboard. Just thought about it after I did, so well, that's what I did. It's proving quite effective. It doesn't really affect the way the keys feel, just a tiny bit, and it doesn't make any noise, almost any noise. I'll show you the difference in a second. So here's the control key. I took out the O-ring, and this one has one and this one doesn't. I'll just listen. You can clearly hear the well, it's just plastic on plastic. That's all it is. Now here is something you may have waited for. The backlighting on this keyboard. This is the lowest setting. As you can see, I've custom made this keyboard. Well, you can see. This is my personal preference. I've paid about $25 more, $20 more for the entire thing. Well, this is for gaming and the various keys, the function keys, and this is the lowest setting. The room is completely dark, so I'll just raise it a bit. This is the second setting. Here we go. It's really quite beautiful. I've had it for over a month and I can't get over how pretty it is. And this is the strongest setting. It's really quite strong. Man, the focus here sucks. Here, I'll try. Yeah. On the camera it looks almost white, but it's blue. It's really blue, and this looks orange, but it's bright red. It's really quite a spectacle. This is one of the most stellar things about this keyboard. It doesn't look like much out in the light, but when you go dark, it's beautiful. Here's the backlighting again. There is some measure of light in the room now. It's still on the highest setting. I'll take it down a notch. Now you can see the colors because it's too bright for it was too bright for the camera before. These are the colors. They're pretty. It's just pretty. Now the lowest setting is what I use the most. It doesn't really shine that much, but it still shows, and it's still nice. It's almost like it was painted that way. But it's light, so it's awesome. Now another thing that usually goes unnoticed, at least me at start, was the wrist rest. It doesn't look like much, and it's really not that. It's not much, but it's really comfortable. It came with the keyboard. and I haven't seen one quite like it. It has a certain slope to it. It's not straight, it's not rectangular, and it feels really nice when you type. Everything about this keyboard is really thought out, and it feels nice. Everything feels just right. Aside from the build quality, which is not top notch, it's just good. This keyboard is excellent. And well, it does get dirty from time to time. You just have to clean it more often. The various features that I may have overlooked are these things. You have the USB ports and the sound ports, which I don't use. These ones you can't use to charge your iPhone or whatever you use. Just, you know, here I have the dongle for my mouse, G700 Logitech, which is great, by the way, on the Alumic, which is also awesome. Roccat Alumic. They're both great, by the way. And that's it, pretty much. Oh, you have the braided cable, which is good. It gives another sense of stability. It's durable and it's nice. The keyboard itself is pretty slim. I said before it's not very solidly made. That's probably because it's not very big. I don't know how much it weighs, about 1.5 kilos, 1.2 kilos, but it's pretty slim. And you have these tiny legs, and it doesn't have a slope to it, as you can see. If you take down these legs, just a second, it sits just like that, almost attached to the table. Now, to conclude, the only major problem, and it's not major at all, I have with this keyboard, even though I love it, is the build quality. If you take the innards of this keyboard with all the features and the USB N key rollover and everything that you know about it, and you put it in a box, in a casing that is a bit more durable, this one would be a total winner. I would give it a 9 out of 10. If it came in a better casing, 10 out of 10. I don't see the point in dedicated macro keys. You have 105, 104 keys here. You don't use them all of the time. So if you're in a game, you can use the numpad, you can use these ones, you can use the number keys, you can use just about any key at all for the for the macros. So dedicated macros, I don't use them. Another thing, media keys, I don't use these either. I have direct volume control here, so I don't need that, and the spacebar usually pauses any player, well, most players anyway, so you don't really need that. I don't anyway. Probably the most awesome thing about Max Keyboard and their keyboards as a result is how nice they are, and they're really responsive, and they let you customize basically everything. You can choose the different keys, I mean the switches. You can, whatever light you want, you have green, you have white, you even have purple. You can use basically anything you want, and they let you do whatever you want with your keyboard. This one is unique. It's the only one in the world with this kind of setting. There aren't any more like it, and that's kind of nice, actually. Okay, so to conclude this review that I hope was helpful, I'll just go over the main points. The keycaps feel great, they seem durable. I've tested the painting and it doesn't seem to rub off. It's not the best build, but it's good enough. I mean, you don't have to rage on it. You can customize basically everything. The customer service is the best, really. The buying experience was awesome. You can change the MX brown keys, MX red keys, black, whatever you want, including the LEDs, of course. The keys themselves and the rubber finish on the keyboard, they get dirty, so you have to clean it more often. You know, oil from your fingers or food or whatever. Bottom line, it's almost perfect. I would give it a 9 out of 10, but it could be more durable and give you a sense of confidence. but it's great. It's one of the best products I've bought in a very long time, and I'm almost in love with it.